outside, and I always notice then, like, well, just feels really good to, like, when I stop and practice it, it's like I'm savoring this moment, even if I'm not, outside. There's just something about really feeling connected to this beautiful day, you know. Um, so why don't we just kind of dive into our grounding practice, where we knowingly bring awareness here and now, understanding the the effort that it takes to do this. For some reason, this just doesn't happen on its own. So, possibly closing your eyes, that kind of that sense gate that we close. And this helps us just to feel, to really feel the body. And it's like just a heightened sense. We get more of the full picture in a way of like, well, what all is happening today? I want to start by just opening and kind of get your feelers out, like what all is happening. And we do this by stopping. So as you're stopping, you can hear the sound of the bell. So there's a feeling maybe in the body, like what it feels like to stop. And you can use these words of, talking to yourself. It can be a really different, like, inner voice or way to talk to yourself. Like, so right now, I'm practicing stopping. I'm very aware of what all is happening, how I feel, how my body feels today. We could move into a really basic gratitude practice that we're here, we're able to be here. And give ourselves just this, kind of this break. Sometimes imagine like we're all on that little hamster wheel, going and doing this and doing that. And it's like you're stepping off of the wheel. It's like, okay, I know. I feel that tendency to kind of want to go and go. But now I'm taking a break. And even feeling just the air movement because you're breathing. You just feel breath flowing. And as your awareness is in your body, there's a feeling of spaciousness. Like you're making things just simpler. Like I'm sitting, I'm a person sitting. Rather than the mind feeling really cluttered, there's even a sense of space in your skull. And if it helps, keep these slightly deeper breaths. It helps to feel. Now, just to really be specific and bring awareness deeper in the body, if you want to explore, if it makes sense, you could bring awareness to your belly, and also, if able, place a hand on your belly. Can you bring awareness to your belly? And this is not superficial, right? This is, I'm feeling deep into my belly, calming and softening. And we have that balance feeling of alertness. Like I'm bringing in uprightness and energy. Like when we're upright, this like really brings in the good space around the throat and the mouth. Almost like we're spending time right now with your digestive system as awareness moves deeper into the body. Whatever you've eaten today, like, oh, how's it feel? This, as practitioners, we're interested in the kind of consequences of what we do or what we say or what we think. So right now I'm just feeling my body and freeing yourself of tension. So it's good to work with nature, kind of, natural disruptions or distraction. And we learn that this really is a moment to moment practice. We learn how we can respond to something, kind of staying grounded. This formal practice of grounding is very powerful to wholeheartedly practice to feel in your body when we feel triggered, like, oh, I can feel grounded. I can bring in that sense. This feeling in the body of being open. And when we're open, it can actually sense space around, maybe around your chest or your heart. I could react with anger, but I don't have to. So I'm practicing this understanding, whatever is kind of coming at you, this grounding, this sense of being at peace, this kind of unshakable peace. We're just kind of planting those seeds right now. Haven't quite mastered it, but there might be a moment like, this little bit, this taste of freedom. And practicing being with things just as they are. And this doesn't mean that, things are heavy or I have so many problems. Even on a beautiful day, this can really help us to savor this day, to experience it deeply. We do this with this being grounded, being here completely, over and over. Feel these waves of breath calling you back. Like, stay here, honey. That's why these initial two words that we use. Grounded and calm, and alert. So whichever word works for you, like relaxed, alert, relaxed and grounded, aware and the brightness, energy. I am interested in the feeling of being grounded. So maybe I'll just talk a little bit today about um, this effort, this that we're putting forth to do this work. So I will sometimes say right at the beginning of a meditation, just to remind yourself, like, I'm here to do some work. I mean, we could just sit here and let the mind just run free, right? And do what it normally does and just kind of think and think. Or when we, and it's almost, sometimes they call it a muscle that we work, and it gets stronger. So I've noticed sometimes, like, I kind of want the fruits of this practice, but I don't want to do it. You know, I mean, a lot of things are kind of like that. Like, I want my house to be clean. I don't want to clean it, you know. And it's very similar. There's a lot of stuff like this and a lot of these truths that, even as, you know, we're all grown-ups here, and even if we know this, that it still is like, you know, to do the work is hard. But I just think it's good to understand, like, how the mind does this. Like, it just kind of wiggles away. Like, I just want to, like at the beginning of this class, you might almost feel like, I want it to be over and I want the fruit. Like, I want the feeling I get. Because, yeah, it can, I mean, it can feel really good when we do this practice. But we then have to understand that this is then all we can do in that moment is go, okay, well, what am I doing right now? I mean, that's all we got is this present moment. It's almost a study. Maybe because we've never been taught this in our upbringing, but, and so it takes a while to learn this. Okay, all I have really is right now. And what am I doing right now? Oh, if I want those fruits, then I really need to do the work. And in the moment, like when we do the work, it's like, it's not that hard, you know. Oh, yeah, I'm just letting go. I'm feeling this kind of relaxed calm and just being with things as they are. I don't have to like them or dislike them. I'm just kind of with stuff as it is. I'm not feeling reactive. This, we could also know that this is our parasympathetic nervous system, that we are, I like these words, like we're stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system. I mean, when we stimulate something, it sounds like, oh, it's going to be exciting. But stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system is relaxing and grounding, and it's like that feeling like the parasympathetic triggers the feeling of rest and digest. Sometimes when people do this for a while, you might even hear your digestive system kind of gurgle, or I've heard this in yoga classes where we're relaxing and all of a sudden you hear like, you know, people's digestive systems actually start up, you know, because it's like, oh, we're not all stressed out anymore. Now I can digest. And the good news is like we can choose this in any moment. I always say, like, my gosh, the mind is so fast. Like, I was meditating and all of a sudden I wasn't even here. I'm like thinking about something else because the mind is so fast. But it's also good news because the mind is fast. So it can come back, whatever you're distracted by, it can just poof, it can vaporize. You're like, oh, it's coming back. All right, I'm feeling my body. Yeah. You can just feel and this relaxing, grounding. So it's really to be understood the number of times you're going to work that muscle that brings you back again, again. That's why sometimes breathing awareness is good because, like, every exhale, you could say, I'm letting go. I'm letting go of distractions. I'm right here. Every exhale. There's this, and then when you're doing formal practice, so let's say we're here for 45 minutes. Yeah, it's a long time. And maybe, even 10 minutes into your sitting practice, like you suddenly find yourself like you're just kind of waiting for it to be over. That feeling like you're waiting for the bell to ring. And this reminds me of maybe I've told this comparison or this story before, but my husband is a runner, and there's this organization and they do podcasts and stuff, and they're called 10 Junk Miles. So they're referring to, like, if you go out and you go for a run for 10 miles, and if you just do it kind of mindlessly or without a plan or anything, they call them junk miles. Like they're just doing it, like they can tell, like I just gotta do these last 10 miles, and I feel like we can do that in meditation. It's like, okay, here's my last 10 junk minutes, that I'm just gonna, I don't feel like working that muscle anymore. And yeah, I'll just kind of check out. So, being heedful that this happens, kind of aware, like, oh, here we go. Here's those last 10 minutes where I kind of lose my patience. But what a great study to go, huh? So is it really that hard to come back? I mean, I guess that what we can observe is it's just not our conditioning. It's like we're not good at it. We're, yeah, we've trained ourselves well to allow distraction. To the point where we can get like, oh, I'm just not, I need to think for a while. So, or fantasize. I need to worry for a while here. I'm really good at that. So just let me worry, okay? Leave me alone. But watching this play out, and with great compassion, this mind, how it's been trained, Like, yeah, this is going to take a while. So, what's happening in this moment? Can I just take a breath and just feel? So, let's practice. Yeah, this isn't about needing to, suddenly be a perfect meditator. So, when you're settling in, then, and as you're, you know, choosing to let go and be relaxed, that there is a pleasantness. If we can sense this is what it feels like when I put down that tendency to worry. Like if you start to worry or, be distracted, notice what happens in your body. Like we often get kind of tense, like anxious or impatient, and that doesn't feel good. So rather, we can choose. This is a moment of, I can feel patience in my body. So if we have about 15 minutes, like even trying on this thought, like, oh, good, 15 minutes of this beautiful space. Of connecting to nature. I don't have to figure out anything. There will be a deep benefit as I free myself of tension. No one can do this for you. It has to be done. This connecting body and mind harmonizing. So breathing a little deeper, maybe down to your belly or grounded. Creating really good space. Notice your mouth, your throat. If you soften your mouth, your throat, that's a moment of practice. Like, yeah, I'm doing it. And that feeling of, that subtle feeling of the shoulders relaxing down. Even a feeling how your breath can really freely flow from nostrils, like all the way to your lungs. This passageway is very open. And this is then, in yoga, it's called prana. Like, oh, this is life force. This is this energy, alert. You can feel almost a little energized, upright. Noticing any sounds around you, or notice your whole environment. If possibly it's not perfect, but we can turn our space into a sacred space. So we accept things just as they are. You might notice some of the instruction that I've given, or in the past, something I said or Jenny said. It just really worked for you. And this, then you call like your anchor. And so you work with that technique. What does work? What keeps you here, calm and alert? And know, oh, this works. was really grateful. It's an honor to be here with you all. And yeah, it's great to have, just kind of a continuation